Hello, hello, hello. It is Christine Michelle, and I am really excited about the live that we're going to do today. Of course, I'm excited about everything. But what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about some of the reasons why manifestations don't work. And we're going to use it in the lens of a business. So let's go. Let's start talking about it. If you are here, drop like a hello or something in the chat so that I can see you. And then I can also, if you're from the B Collective, you're one of the Duchesses or one of the Queens from Quantum Queen, I can start to use some examples for you that are going to be specific to your business, specific to what you're experiencing. So let's say hello. Let me know that you're here. All right. So today, what we are talking about is some of the reasons why manifestations don't work, some of the reasons why it doesn't unfold. And then we are going to talk about being the how, why that's important, and desire, why those two things are super important to manifesting. So let's talk about what you could be wanting to manifest. Okay. For example, we started off this year and then in December, I talked about $10 million me. And so we talked about the slip space, where you're jumping straight from like where you are to where you want to be, and how you get to be laser focused and direct on being that most advanced vision versus being like the stair step vision. Okay. And so we talked about being the most advanced vision and what that looks like. I took you guys through the PEV. If you haven't, on my podcast, I talk very clearly about personal energetic vibration. What's that made up of? All of those things. Then what are we talking about when we talk about manifesting? In the Be Collective, I talk about the steps to manifesting. Hello, Carrie Ann. The steps to manifesting. We talk about the 7 steps. We talk about the first piece is having the clarity, right? Understanding what you desire, getting clear on that, deciding that that is yours, right? You decide that it is yours. Then you're going to decide and move, make those decisions. You're going to regulate and expand your capacity to hold the thing that you want by what? Moving, seeing what's going on in your body, and then you're going to move again, see what's going on in your body, and then you're going to be reframing, regulating, doing this the whole way. Okay. And then what is one of the most important things that I've said is so important in manifesting? It's moving. And oftentimes when we say, okay, I want to go from, let's say, 10 or 20 or $30,000 in my business to 50 or $60,000 in my business, we say, I'm manifesting that, right? I'm manifesting that. What does that mean? If you really get down to the details of what I'm manifesting, that means, it means that you are opening yourself up to receive it, because manifestation is only intentional receiving. Often we aren't open to receive what we desire, and that is the main reason why manifestations don't work. We are closed off to it because for several reasons, so many reasons. And that is what we're going to go into, being the how. On Friday, tomorrow at noon, there's going to be a 1.5 hour masterclass where I'm going to teach you how to be the how. And some of the reasons we're going to talk about that we are open to receiving what we desire is because we're afraid of what's going to happen. Right? You can't be the how when you are afraid that if you manifest the business success that you want, you're going to be working more, right? If you are afraid, there's so many reasons why you don't want what you want. So how would you become the pathway for it to flow into you if there's parts of you that don't want it? Tell me if you're picking up what I'm putting down. There are some reasons why we like to stay in the chaos. There's some reasons why we love to stay in the drama. I want you to look at your situation and if you are having something that you really, really desire. So for example, for Carrie Ann, if you are really desiring for your conscious uncoupling to just be done, right? You're ready to be finished with this experience, but it feels like it's dragging on and dragging on and dragging on. There is a benefit that you are getting from the dragging on. There's a benefit that you're getting from that experience that you don't really recognize. And so it's like, what am I getting out of this that I don't realize that I like? So, one, if it's dragging on and it's starting to show, reflect on him that he's wrong and he's not a great person, and look at all the crap that he's put me through, and I want everybody to know it, then guess what? You're dragging, you're dragging, you're dragging, you're dragging, you're dragging, you're dragging it on because you want to prove that he's bad, he's the wrong person, and being in that situation makes you feel right, you know? And you don't want that anymore. You're like, okay, I'm done with that. I don't need that anymore. I just want it to be done. You see? And so there's so many things. Like, for example, if I think about where I was in my business, and I've been saying I'm gonna have a 7-figure year, gonna have a 7-figure year, gonna have a 7-figure year. And I just have not had it. And I was like, what's going on? And I started to look at, I said, well, what are the reasons why I don't want a 7-figure year? And some of them were, okay, what if I get it and then I don't keep it? So I was afraid that I'd get it and then lose it. Now I can tell myself, girl, just get it. And if we lose it, we'll get it again. So there's small things that you can start to just shift and be like, well, I don't care if I lose it. I just want to get it once. That'll be great. Knowing that it's going to stay, knowing that I'm going to hold on to it, knowing that it's going to grow from there. But there's just these small, little things that we have in our minds telling us, do you really want that? Are you sure? What is your benefit from this? you know it could be something like if I say I'm the icon and I want, like, thousands and thousands of people in my experience, but then I see where this other coach, mentor, transformational person has that same experience, but then they have a whole Reddit thread about them that's lying about them and lying about who they are, or spreading all these rumors. If I know that that's a piece that I'm afraid of and I'm not open to that even happening and I'm scared, then what does that do? That limits me from having the success that I want because I'm not open to receiving it all. And what did I say manifestation is? Intentional receiving. Are you open to receiving it all? Tell me some things in the comments, like, what have you been desiring to manifest, but it just seems like it is not happening? And you're like, I don't understand why. And it's because there's some little way, some reason. I'm going to give you 3 questions to ask yourself during the Be the How tomorrow. 3 questions to ask that will look at it in slightly different ways. So you could say, that is the reason why I'm not allowing myself to receive it. Because what if you knew when you ask, it is done and it's ready to unfold into your life? And all you have to do is be an open channel. You get to just let it flow through the pipes and let it come to you. But if there's reasons why you don't want it, so if I think about some of the reasons why I was like, not so sure I want a 7-figure business, they were all subconscious, right? But when I ask the question, what happens? Unconscious becomes conscious. And so it was things about like being responsible, because I know as soon as I'm hitting 7 figures, I'm going to retire my sister and she gets to work for me full time. Well, now I'm responsible for her salary, right? I'm responsible for another person's salary. So this can't fail. Like, I can't mess up, right? You hear those things, those can'ts, I shouldn't, those fears. But when I recognize them, when I can acknowledge them, when I can do the aligned soul process on these things, guess what? They don't become as big. They don't become as important. They become things that are just thoughts that it's like, I'll be able to handle it and figure it out as we go. That if she comes and she's working full time with me, we're going to grow. We're not going to digress. Like, we're not going to get smaller. We're going to get bigger. But if I don't acknowledge this, then there's these little things that are hiding in the background that I am not even acknowledging. I'm not letting myself see that they're there, and I'm playing like everything is perfect. So, what can you think about if there's something that you've been wanting to manifest in your life, right? You've been desiring this. Put it in the comments what it is, and definitely come tomorrow to the Be the How, because we're going to go through the reasons why you're not being the how, because you're not that clear pathway. You're not that clear way for it to flow up and flow through, and how you get to actually take steps to clear the pathway to allow yourself to receive. Because what is manifestation? It's intentional receiving. So if I think about, I'm going to use Lauren as an example. So Lauren is now a UGC creator. She's an amazing UGC creator. She does these videos. They're amazing. And as soon as she decided that she wanted to do UGC, she put something out there. She got people. They wanted her, like they wanted her, right? And so, what are some reasons why, like, you may not allow yourself to blow up, like, not allow yourself to get to that $10,000, $20,000 from UGC amounts? Some of the reasons you may not want it is like, oh, is this going to be, it's going to be too much work, right? Am I going to be too exhausted? Oh my God, I used to ask myself that question all the time. Oh, but if I have a $10 million business, am I going to be too much? Am I going to be tired? And I said, you know what? Just let me see it. Let me try. Like I told myself, I said, look, if we get tired, we'll hire somebody. We'll get some help. And then Lauren came. So let's see. Lauren says, I fear that I will only have time for filming and not time for relaxation or other avenues, or accepting that the more I grow, I will have hate and love all in one. Okay, so see, now that now that you're acknowledging those fears, the first thing you get to say, okay, one, if I feel like I'm getting too many at that rate card and now I'm getting booked up at that rate card and I feel like it's taking up too much of my time, there's two ways you can go. Increase your rates, so that'll reduce the number of influx, number of jobs, and you'll still be making the same money or more. Or number two, you start to hire a team. You hire some people that are going to help you film, and you'll be able to like pop out like a whole bunch of videos at once, and then you'll be able to have your time to relax, right? But if you didn't know that that was a thing, would you even be able to come up with these different ideas, right? Picking up what I'm putting down, guys. We're going to go into a lot of this tomorrow, but this is one of the main reasons your manifestations don't come true, is because you're not open to receive them, because you feel like either you're benefiting from where you are and staying there, or in some way, it's not even in a good way. It's not like, maybe also I had some clients, they were like, it's going to be too easy, or it's going to be too much drama, or they're so used to the drama, they're so used to it that they feel like they're going to be bored if they make too much money, bored if it gets too easy. And I'm like, girl, let yourself be bored for a little bit. It's good. But you got to acknowledge some of this to open up the avenue, turn the faucet back on. Let's see. Lauren says, oh, accepting. Yes, that's another thing. If you want to be the next Taylor Swift, then you've got to be open to having Swifties and having Swift haters. You got to be open to people wanting to make up rumors about you. And you also got to be open to people loving you so much that it embarrasses you and that you blush every time, because there are going to be so many people that are going to be wanting to take pictures of you and be like, I love you, I love you, I love you. There's so many coaches and mentors out there that don't realize that they're going to have fans. There are going to be people that are going to love you and not want to walk beside you or even work with you. They're going to be people that are just going to like idolize you, and that just is the way it is, because that's some of the levels that people need to go through. First they idolize, and then they realize, oh my God, she's just like me. We walk beside each other. But you got to be open to that. You've got to be open to that. Let's see. Lauren was saying, I was thinking of hiring a Fiverr editor at one point, but I'd also have to release control. Exactly. So do you see how, like, All of these things that you're afraid of, there's solutions for it, but there also is you wanting to control, you wanting to do that. Let's see. Hello, Tasha. Tasha is a legend. Tasha said, I'm afraid that I'll become totally unrelatable to everyone around me. Yes, you know what? That is huge. That's a big thing. And you won't allow yourself to be the bigger, bolder, badder version of yourself. You won't allow yourself to be totally convicted that your stuff is amazing. You won't allow yourself to show up in the way that you know you get to show up. Why? Because you're afraid that other people won't like it. But you've got to realize that you're going to leave people behind. Yes, Tasha said, and then I decided to choose me. Whoever has a problem with it would just have to deal. Yes, yes. And it's little small reasons why we might be comfortable where you are. There's another thing. So it's about comfort too. Remember what do we say? When you want to quantum leap, you got to let go of comfort. You got to let go of control. Lauren mentioned control, Tasha mentioned comfort, and then common sense. If we talk about just comfort, sometimes we have been in a situation for so long. Maybe it's an abusive relationship. Maybe we've just been so used to being made wrong that we're comfortable there. It's not that it's rainbows and butterflies and it's amazing comfort. It's just something we're comfortable at that frequency of always being wrong or always having to fight for things or always having to fight through things. We're so used to that frequency that being at a different frequency, which is the one you desire, feels so far away. It feels so off. It feels weird. I remember Tasha will remember this. She was shifting to wanting to open up love in her life. And so I said, well, I want you to watch Hallmark. And then she was like, Hallmark is corny. And I was like, good, because I want you to see corny, no drama love, because I want you to see that that's possible so that you can see that love can be easy. Not that your situation is going to be exactly like that, but it was to shift the frequency. Because if you think that it needs to be drama, hard, like uncorny, right? And then you start watching something on television that it's like, oh my goodness, it's so easy. They saw each other, they met, they fell in love. Oh my goodness, they have no drama. They don't hate each other. There's no people doing anything bad. The drama is really superficial, right? Then you can start rising your frequency to match that. And it doesn't feel so weird. It actually feels normal. And that's what we're going to do. You become the how, you be the how by normalizing what you really want. But there's things that are stopping you from normalizing it. And it's because that, you want to control, you want to be in comfort. You want to do what you used to do, which is the common thing that you've been doing all the time. Right? Or you're comfortable where you are, or you are so used to being where you are afraid of what's at that next level. You see, my nose is itching. This is why manifestations don't work. You are not open to receive as much as you're like, I've been manifesting, I've been doing the journaling, I've been doing I've been walking around and I've been speaking through the affirmations. I'm in the mirror, I'm doing the self-talk, I'm doing all this work, I'm doing it, I'm doing it. You don't really want it. There's parts of you that don't want it. And of course, like I said, time doesn't matter. Things can happen fast or they can happen just in the time that they're meant to happen. Of course, time is irrelevant. But most of the time, when I see my clients, for example, I had one client, she had a 5-figure month. It was the best month that she had had in a long time. And she shouted it out to the rooftops. And then all of a sudden, somebody came and said something negative about it. And what happened? She allowed all of her momentum to go away because she wanted that person that she cared about to be happy for her. They were not, they were jealous. And she allowed herself to think, well, it's not good that I did what I did and feel uncomfortable about it. And so now it's like, who am I? Right? I want this, but then other people may not want it for me, and I'm going to lose that person in my life again. So I'm afraid to allow myself to have it. But you've got to decide that you want what you want because you want it. Desire is so important. one of the most important things about desire is desire, that frequency of desire, and allowing yourself to want what you want because you want it, and knowing that you're going to speak to the rooftops about your desire and not care who wants it. Like I talk about private jets all the time. Of course, I'm in the spiritual space. So there's so many people that are like, private jets are so bad for the environment. Do you hate private jets? I'm like, baby, I will plant some trees to match it, but I want to fly private. I flew private when I was with corporate. I like private. I like it. You know, I'm going to want what I want because I want it. And if you don't align, then that's fine. I don't want, I'm not going to make you not want what you want, but I'm going to want what I want. And so one of the biggest things we're going to talk about in Desire Code is about how to unabashedly, unapologetically own your desires. Unapologetically claim what you want. It is so important to do that. And I'm Desire Code now, it's like $297 on pre-sale. It's not until July. So get it on the pre-sale, but it's 2 weeks. We're going to have 4 or 6. I have to look. I know 5 different Zoom calls. And then we're also going to have a Telegram thread. And it's really about you understanding and speaking to desires, but speaking to it too from a specific standpoint, like different scenarios you'd love to experience, like how you want it to be, so that you can start to connect to these desires and be able to communicate them to your audience, but also be able to connect to what they want. I know a lot of you own your own businesses, and one of the things that I talk about is specificity. And everyone has such a hard time getting to specificity, such a hard time. Tasha is the copy queen. She understands this. She talks about tangible results and things like that. And you did a post recently, and it was like spiritual people, because they, sometimes they're on their high horse and like, well, she wants to lose, 50 pounds. And what's the reasons why? And one of those reasons why is because she wants to look good in her bikini, right? One of those reasons why is because she wants to feel sexy. One of those reasons why is because that's one of her reasons. But if you can't tap into the human of it and you want to stay in the spiritual world, you've got to come down to your human about the desire and about the real reasons people want what they want. But you can't get to that. You can't speak to that. You can't share, like you can't express that if you can't connect to your own desires. And how are you going to know, like, become the how if you don't truly know what you want and why you want it and what those deeper feelings are and what your experiences you want to have? All of that is connected. All of that is so connected. So let me look in the comments. Yes. Lauren says, I love that because I can energy. Yes, yes, yes. But from the heart. Exactly. Exactly. It's because I can. It's because it's coming from your heart. It's because that's what you desire. Yeah. If you have any questions, drop them in. I'm going to go for a few more minutes. I have a live stream at 11 with Basma. So you guys come to Instagram and watch the live stream at 11. One of the biggest things I want to talk about another reason why manifestations don't work, we already talked about, is because maybe you don't really want it. Maybe you're so comfortable with where you are and you don't realize it and how uncomfortable it is going to be for you to shift and change. We talked about there's probably some things that you are afraid will happen, even if you get it. Things that don't make any sense, things that are probably illogical and like, oh my God, why am I worried about that? But when you can acknowledge it, and then when you can change your brain to be like, oh, hmm, hmm. So I want to hear in the comments, what are some other reasons why you may not want what you want? And one other thing, one other reasons why manifestations do not happen is because you haven't set yourself up to receive it. So many times I hear from women, they're like, I want $1 million business. I'm like, okay, let's go. What do you have? What's your offer suite? There's nothing in their offer suite that could ever, ever, ever create the $1 million business. It doesn't make any kind of logical sense. Your brain is like, yeah, you're not going to do that. And it's just, it's not close. It's not anywhere close. I know this is about magic. I know this is about miracles, but help the universe out. Like, help God out, help a brother out. The sugar daddy, God, universe is like, whatever you want, we got you. But if you don't even have the things to create it, you don't even have the things to put it together, it can't help you. Let me give you another example. I love your example about like unconscious uncoupling. And so, in order to consciously uncouple, there's some paperwork that has to be done, and it has to be done. Like it's just things that we have to do. And so, God, universe, source is like, hey, I got you. Finish that paperwork. It's gonna go. We're gonna get you. We got you. But you got to do your human side. You've got to do the human piece. And that's another reason why you're like waiting, waiting, and waiting for the manifestation to go, to unfold, to happen. What's another reason? Like, if you look at just the practical, there's a practical side to it. And when we can just do the practical piece, the steps, we can say, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to, sign up for this. I'm going to set up this charge or this link so that people can pay me. I don't even know if anybody's ever going to use it, but hey, I'll set it up. Like there's small things. You'll do it and you're like, okay, it's done. And now I'm open. God, universe, source, flow through and go live your life. Go have fun and go do the things that I talked about in the last video about surrender, because you've done your part. See, you're picking up what I'm putting down? Yeah. See, Lauren says, not really a question, but all my dumbest reels get to 20 and 40,000 views, yet reels around what I do are like 200, asking the universe to show me a sign that I'm meant to do what I love. Okay, you know what? I love that question. So, what if I'm going to give you two answers? First of all, a lot of times you put a lot of pressure on the thing that you want, right? The thing that you want. We'll talk about this a lot tomorrow. You put a lot of pressure on what you want instead of deciding that, hey, this gets to be done. Okay. Release some of the pressure or the needing of this to be so successful, the needing of the right people to see it, the needing. So we get to release that pressure that you're putting on there. The ones that you're like, it's dumb, it doesn't matter, you don't care, you're light with it, you're having fun, you put a reel out there, who cares? Of course, more people are going to watch it because there's no pressure. There's no pressure. It's just like, whatever. So that's one thing. Number two, I want you to stop, like, let's stop looking at views altogether. And when in the world were we in a space where we post something and 200 people see it and that's not good? You've got something that you automatically access 200 people. What if you were to say, you know what, those are the right 200 people, those are the perfect eyes within that 200, it's going to be the exact right thing. Because I'd like to remind you that the one that the people came, that video that you did, when those people came and they were like, we love this video, it wasn't in thousands and thousands and thousands of views. In fact, it was like a lot less. And so, what if you could have more fun, post more things, and just do it from a lightness and don't overdo it. Don't overproduce it. Don't make it quote unquote perfect. When you do all of that, it's just a lot of pressure for that one video to perform. That is unnecessary. I like this question. And then also, finally, you of course get to do what you love. You of course get to do everything that you love. You just have to decide and take the meaning away from different things. So the meaning of number of views and video views mattering, you've got to take that meaning away. And you've got to just decide that it doesn't matter if, like I've decided now, it doesn't matter if one person sees it or if a million people see it, it's always going to be the right people and it's always going to be in the right place and it's always going to be at the right time. I've decided that it's always right person, right place, right time. It doesn't matter when, it doesn't matter how, always right person, right place, right time. And so the more we can just allow ourselves to be easy with what we're creating, take the pressure off the need for one little video to perform, and just remember everything is a piece, it's a part of my masterpiece. Everything is a little cog in the wheel. Everything is a small little step that all get to compound and they're going to take me, millions and millions of miles away. Like everything is just a piece and not put a lot of pressure on every single thing. You're going to be amazing. Okay. He said, I'm thinking that releasing all of this, and I'm still not. It's natural, right? We get dopamine hits from social media, and we use that to see whether determine our worthiness. We always are using something to say, are we worthy? Am I worthy enough? Like we get to just say, you know what? Thank you, 200. Oh my goodness. Thank you, viewers. I'm so happy. I hope every eye that saw it, even if it was just for 3 seconds, I hope they loved every piece of this video. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Right. And so we get to appreciate every single view. Let's see, like you said, I definitely need to come back to the beginning, the excited feeling. Yes, that is what we're going to talk about tomorrow because it's so important. When you're going to become the how, you need to be in that excited, new, I don't know anything about anything feeling because life is just gets to be good for me and I'm putting it out there and I'm doing it my way. And when you're in that feeling, it is magnetic. Okay. So on that note, we've talked about the reasons why manifestations do not work for people and why the small things that you can shift. And we'll go more into that in the free workshop, Becoming the How. Definitely sign up for that free workshop. It is the bomb. Like I'm going to be giving you specific step by steps, like how to do a lot of these things because it's so important. Okay. And I love these calls so much too. Thank you so much. This will also be on the podcast. If you have any questions and you're a part of the Be Collective, Ask Me Anything is next week. Please get all of your questions into the Telegram. If you're a quantum queen, drop your questions and I'll riff about it anytime, any space. And if you're not in Be Collective or Quantum Queen, please DM me on Instagram to find out more and get the link, or you can use some of these links that Lauren has posted. So, on that note, remember, manifestations may not be working for you now, but there is a way for it to work. We're going to talk about being the how tomorrow at noon. Okay. And so, even if it feels like, oh, my manifestations aren't working, I'm going to give it up. No, don't give it up. There are small tweaks that you can make and then have a flood of everything you've been desiring for years on years on years coming into your life. And we are going to show you how and be the how. So thank you so much. I love each and every one of you. And I will see you tomorrow and be the how. Or right after this in the live stream. Bye.